Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. Hey, so this is going to be a quick episode because I wanted to share a Q&A with you from CFO On Demand and make you aware of my answer because I thought it was such a great question and I wanted to make sure I shared it with you all. So we have a member who reached out to me and said that they came upon some extra cash, like they had an increase in sales, and they have this outstanding loan that's actually a really small balance. It's like in the hundreds. And they said, hey, should I just pay this off? Because in reality, I have this loan, it's at 1%. Okay, keep that in mind. It's 1% interest, but it's just this pesky balance on my balance sheet. It's kind of annoying. Can I just get rid of it with this extra cash that I have? And at first glance, like, what would you do? Right? Think about that. What would you do? You probably go, well, if I have plenty of money to pay this off and barely notice that I did, then why wouldn't I pay it off? Here's why. So I unpacked this a little bit more and I said, okay, that's an interesting question. How much, if you're not going to pay it off, where's the money going? And he said, it's going into my high yield savings account. I said, oh, interesting. Where or how much interest is that high yield savings account generating for you? And it was somewhere in the 3% per month, like let's say 3.5%. So I said, okay, interesting. So you want to either pay this off to eliminate a 1% interest expense, or you could leave it in the savings account that's generating a 3.5% interest. And what I'm getting at here is that when you have cash on hand, you have to really be logical about where it's going. Because if you're going to essentially save 1% interest, if you're going to gain in new wealth, 1% interest by paying off that loan, you're going to regain that purchasing power of 1% interest that you would have paid on that loan versus taking that money and getting the purchasing power of 3.5% interest over there. Then you have to think about this and go, wait a minute, it actually makes no sense for me to pay this off because I'm making more in interest if I leave it where it is than if I were to pay that. I'm actually better off out earning that interest, earn 3.5%, use that to pay the 1%, and then keep 2.5% for yourself. It's that simple. Now, I know it's not exactly one for one, but when you think about these decisions, we tend to associate having a loan with something negative, or, I have this outstanding balance, I should just pay it off. I say, hold the phone. What is it costing you? What is it costing you to keep the loan? What is it costing you if you pay off the loan? How much are you actually going to win if you make that decision? You have to really be logical, think about the factors, because this person came into this conversation. We were DMing about this and they said, I really haven't thought about that before. I've just always assumed that debt is negative, or debt has a negative connotation, and I should just pay this off and get rid of it. I don't want to have debt on my balance sheet. I said, debt on your balance sheet isn't bad unless the debt on your balance sheet exceeds your assets and exceeds it by multiples. Now it's really bad because now all your assets are financed by debt, not equity. So you're being held up on, weak Jenga blocks. So it's really important to understand that debt in and of itself is not negative. The meaning behind having a loan or having debt, it's not inherently positive or negative. It is just there. It is just debt. And you can either be using it for, to buy purchasing power so you can build your business, or you could be using it as a crutch. And we don't want the latter. But all of that just to say, really be thoughtful about these types of decisions, because you might be actually worse off if you're focused first on paying off your debts. You want to know where your money is earning you more, AKA saving you more, before you make those decisions. So I wanted to share that with you. And this is a quickie. Share that knowledge with you because it's really important to think about. So if you're toying between these different channels of income or ways that you can pay off, and what do I do with my money? These are all questions you can ask your advisors, obviously. But if you'd like to hop in and be a part of CFO On Demand, we would love to have you. So you can ask questions like this and have these conversations with me. Head over to the link in the show notes to learn more about joining. I'd love to see you in there. Most accountants will try to bill you for those quick questions or make you feel like you're bothering them. And the truth is that the quick questions are what I love about what we do. That's why I created a new and accessible offer for you to be able to message me your questions and get the support you need when you need it. It's called the CFO On Demand. You can now get affordable help and access to me and my team without a high monthly fee. You can also upgrade and get access to a private one-on-one office hours to bring your specific strategies to the table. Want to learn more? Head to thecfoondemand.com or click the link in the show notes. Again, that's the CFO On Demand. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.